that equal power so we can steer through this super wet, slick mud. Okay, pause right there. Do you see the tree? Well, let's fast forward to later that night for a moment. Yeah, from all the rain and wind we've been having, this wasn't the only downed tree around town. But let's get back into the video. The level of rain we're getting today is crazy. The weather called for 75 to upwards of 150 millimeters of rain, and just in that short walk over to my RAV4 here, I got completely soaked. So it's only 11:30 a.m. I decided why not take the RAV4 out and go on a rainy day adventure in this 90s Toyota RAV4. We've got all-wheel drive and we've got a center locking diff. Without further ado, I'll fire her up and we'll hit the road. The old front transmission mount was super easy to replace, and now the RAV4 is handling and sounding as smooth as ever. Clutch in, neutral. Just a little bit of a power steering squeak on startup. Got some sparkling water, root beer flavor today. Got my camera bag here. You can see the water down here pooling in the alley. It's important to keep your headlights on in this kind of weather. We haven't got rain like this in a while, and I love to see it. Traffic lights out. What a day to be working on the traffic lights. A little bit of pooling going on in that parking area down there. We're rolling up the windows and now we're hitting the highway. And we're gonna see what out there we can get up to. Officially now, we're cruising up the highway. The RAV4 holds a steady speed. The wipers are on max setting, and we're driving a little further into the countryside where all the good back roads are. And with every turn, we're getting further and further away from the city and the highway, and closer to peaceful, rainy dirt back roads. Lush green in the rain kind of reminds me of Oregon. Let's park right under these trees right here. Well, it's not coming too hard. I'm gonna hop out and take a look around. As you can see, it's absolutely beautiful out here. The rain isn't too overpowering, I'm not getting soaked. And the RAV4 is running perfectly. That front transmission mount really tightened things up. What I thought was just my strut knocking around actually just turned out to be the front transmission mount. Well, this is why I won't be using this camera quite as much in this video, because in 2 seconds it got completely drenched. Myself included. But that's half the reason why we're out here, to enjoy it. And according to the weather network, it's got a lot to go. As you can see, flood risk with 50 to 100 millimeters of rainfall. Onward we go. Officially going into dirt road territory. Now these are dirt gravel roads, so they're not typically totally muddy, but when they're wet, your car will still get really dirty. Stuff like this will come up out of nowhere though, which can cause quite the ruckus if you're bombing down a back road, minding your own business. I'm rolling the window down here because I just want to take a moment at how beautiful this view is. This luscious green field. You might have noticed I do actually have my fishing rod in here, but I think I had a glimmer of hope that I might be able to get out and throw a few casts in the lake, but I don't think there's much of a chance. Now you might be able to see that we're pulling up on this huge lake out here. I thought this would be a nice place to come out. There's a number of nice back roads you can explore on the way to it. And there's lots of little off trails that go around the lake. There's a little offshoot right down there that goes to the lake shore and kind of goes across it and back up onto the road, but it's just so muddy. The lake looks mean today. Looks like there's one crazy person fishing out there. So there's the lake right there, and here's kind of an off-road that I was talking about. Looks like people have been down it. Just debating whether I want to avoid it or not, because it could be very muddy. So far it doesn't feel too bad. The eroding bank's further away than it looks on camera, but I'll take a wide berth just to be safe here on some parts. Here's where things get muddy. So I wonder maybe if I should try pushing the diff lock button, and that means it's engaged. Now, big problem with holding the GoPro out the window there. All right, well, the GoPro died right after I filmed that, but what I did is I ran down to the lake right there below that bank, and I rinsed my entire arm sleeve in the lake, rinsed my hand off. Water's kind of dripping into my armpit. So cold, it's dripping down my back. And then I also rinsed the GoPro off in that lake water, so it's all clean now, and I'll get it charged up. It's a really cool stormy kind of day, and once again the center diff lock does make things feel a lot better when I'm kind of sliding through these really slick areas. And we're able to get the GoPro charging right there on my Bluetooth FM transmitter, which is a great way to have Bluetooth audio in these old cars. It's great to have the RAV4 out in conditions like this because it gives me a better idea, like versus winter in the snow, just as to how the RAV4 handles and what it's capable of in the mud. All right, we've got another off-road right here. I'm gonna activate the center diff lock again, and we'll see just how we get through this at a slow speed here. Super easy. That wasn't very bad. Definitely getting rather more muddy up here. Deeper tire tracks right here for sure. But the RAV4 is doing a phenomenal job. Curious out there, I see some sort of flag on a stick, so I want to actually turn back real quick and go straight and check out what that is. It actually says, please do not park close to water. People come out here with their motor homes and campers and set up and pretty much day camp out here. You're not supposed to overnight. Now I know this section up here can house quite a bit of mud, but we're gonna go make our way through and see how we do. So we can slowly go through these. This one's big right here. Right here is probably the worst, with these deep bit of trenches here. But again, we have great traction and we're just going right through them. It wasn't constantly raining down, or I'd cast my fishing line in there. Kind of back on a section that does feel more like mud, and we're feeling that slippage and that kind of wet. It's really no problem for the RAV4. Buddy, this is absolutely the muddiest spot that we'll be at, so if we're gonna encounter any problems, it's gonna be here, but because I can already feel it slipping all over, and we're not even to the big puddle crossing yet. And I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So we come up on this right here, and then there's this really big dip, and you've got to get through that big dip to get further down. Even just where we're sitting right now, we still have questionable traction, you know. There you can see that's where we were just sitting. Super muddy, super slick, but the RAV4 with the center diff lock absolutely takes it like a champ. Gets going, keeps that equal power so we can steer through this super wet and slick mud. And without a problem, it gets us through. It's still early in the afternoon and the back roads are soaked. Okay, do I dare to get out of the car just for 1 minute to show you guys? You get drenched really fast. Just in that 10 seconds, I was getting peppered with rain. It's been non-stop all day, and it probably won't stop until sometime tomorrow. All right, now we've been driving down the back roads for a long time now. But now in the distance, I see the highway. We're gonna get back on it off of these crazy, wet, bumpy, dirty back roads, back onto the highway. Well, everybody, thank you guys for watching. This has been a real fun adventure out in the RAV4 on this rainy day. Leave a like, leave a comment. Safe driving, everybody.